Yes, you can and should stop paying collection agencies, especially if you don't already have a current payment arrangement in place or you haven't already done a settled as agreed and you're constantly being hounded by phone calls and credit collection agency letters in the mail and you just want it to stop. Well, listen up. There is a way that you can get around actually paying a credit collection agency by simply challenging the fact that they don't own the debt. So a lot of people don't realize, but just because an original debtor basically sold a debt off to some other collection agency for pennies on the dollar, that does not mean that you have an actual agreement with the credit collection agency by default. A lot of people don't understand or realize that. And so if they're threatening to sue you and they are in the process of filing a lawsuit against you, whether they've sent you a letter saying this is your last chance, or maybe they've already sued you and you're just waiting for the court date to come up. Well, first of all, don't not show up to the court date. You must show up to the court date. But before you get to court, you need to file a motion to dismiss. And so there's a specific kind of motion to dismiss that you can file. It's called a motion to dismiss for lack of standing because there's no chain of title. That's a very important term for you to understand, is chain of title. There's no chain of title between the original creditor and the collection agency, which means then that the collection agency does not have any right. They don't have any legal right to try to sue you for and collect on a debt that they don't actually have a legal standing to collect. And so the burden of proof then becomes on the plaintiff, which is the collection agency, and they have to prove to the judge that they do in fact have a chain of title. It has to be a clear chain of title, and that they can in fact collect on behalf of the original creditor. And most of them do not have that. You think that they have all this documentation. They don't, because when the debt was sold off from the original creditor to the collection agency, most of that information does not transfer over. People think that that all transfers over. It doesn't. The only thing that the new collection agency gets is your name, your address, and your contact information. That's basically it. There's no original agreement. They don't get any original contract. They don't get any of that stuff from the original creditor, which means when they show up to court, they're going to have nothing, and the case will be thrown out. Okay? So if you're worried about being sued, you have been threatened to be sued, or maybe you've already been served a lawsuit, and you don't know what to do, then you definitely want to file immediately a motion to dismiss based on lack of standing due to no chain of title, okay? And you can file this. I would recommend you have ChatGPT create the paperwork for you that you can actually upload into the court system or walk it down to your local courthouse, and then there'll be a hearing based on this new motion to dismiss. And so that's what you want to do if you want to protect yourself, you want to defend yourself, and you want to turn the tables and actually win. Once this case gets tossed out, then you can go back to the credit reporting bureaus and show that the case was tossed out, that you do not in fact owe this credit collection agency, and they will remove it off your credit reports with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion once you show that this court case was actually thrown out. So that is how you win against those big bad credit collection agencies.